Good morning and welcome to Stoke-on-Trent, where I am joined by Chief Superintendent Elliott Sharrard Williams, also known as Will.
Good morning.
And who is the commander for this Stoke-on-Trent police area, and also head of Force CID, Will. I think I've got that right.
That's correct, yes. So commander for the city of Stoke-on-Trent and head of Force CID for Staffordshire Police.
So we're filming this in the yard here, back of the Stoke-on-Trent, or back of this particular police station.
That's right.
We may get some sound effects off to your left shortly. There are a number of police vehicles out there that may respond to incidents. There's one in particular that that is just starting up. So let's just take a look at that as they depart. Well, here in Stoke-on-Trent, a busy force, very busy area of the force. Let's start, if we may, by your telling us and our audience, UK and internationally, something about the city of Stoke-on-Trent and some of the policing challenges that it presents. What's Stoke like? So
Stoke is a very proud city. It has a very rich heritage. Of course, it was the heart of the potteries industry historically in the country. It's a post-industrial city now. Sadly, some of the manufacturing industry that was so prevalent sort of 50 years ago isn't as strong in the city as it was. It has about 250,000 residents. A real sense of identity. There's a pride of being a Stokey, and I'm not one, but there's a real pride about the people that live here associating with the area. It's a very diverse city, and I would say a city that is in the throes of developing itself, rebuilding it economically, and a city that has its challenges, both in terms of deprivation and some of the economic challenges that the city faces, and that of course manifests itself in policing around acquisitive crime, substance misuse, sadly, domestic violence are I would say our three main challenges in the city.
You were telling me just before we started recording some statistics about Stoke-on-Trent to do with, for example, some of the employment, some of the disadvantaged population within Stoke-on-Trent. Any of those that you care to share?
I suppose in policing terms, we know that deprivation is linked to victimisation and sometimes to offending and vulnerability of people in our communities. Sadly, Stoke does have its challenges. You mentioned it has a high number of children who are in the care of the local authority, disproportionately high. And the local authority are working very closely with us to ensure that we do the very best for those children. But of course, it becomes a challenge for us around missing children, around the transition into that care, which sadly is often on the back of a negative incident where that brings to our attention. So we work very closely, both as local policing, but also our public protection unit, which you will know the Chief Constable has made significant investment in, to try and improve our service to those very vulnerable adults and vulnerable children in the city.
So we'll come on in a second video to the work that you're doing, the multi-agency you're doing, in particular with the local council here. And it's worth acknowledging also that I know I have a couple of friends who are themselves Stokies, and they are very proud of their Stoke background and heritage. So a shout out, Rob, particularly to you at this point. In this first video, we're going to talk in more detail about the response support unit, and in that context, it's worth acknowledging that as a force, Staffordshire Police has had a particularly difficult time recently with assessments by His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary, full title HMIC FRS, and is now emerging from that challenging time and making a number of very significant improvements. One of the areas is on the development of a response support unit, which I believe is may be unique to Stoke and to Staffordshire.
Yeah, so as you've alluded to, we're on that journey of improvement as we have come out of the engage phase of HMICFRS monitoring this year, but we recognise we've still got a lot of work to do to give that exceptional service to the residents of Staffordshire. An area of focus for us is improving our responsiveness, how quickly we respond to calls for service from the public, and also refining our service so it meets the needs of the victim in a variety of different ways. So the response support unit is being trialled in Stoke-on-Trent. We're in the process of building it now, and what that intends to do is take a relatively small number of officers, an investment from the Chief Constable and Police and Fire Crime Commissioner of 2 sergeants and 14 PCs, that will provide a capability to deal with, we estimate, between 8,000 to 10,000 calls for service a year, which is about 20% of the demand of the city, through focused delivery using technology to not only offer physical appointments, but also using technology to offer virtual appointments with victims of crime, with technology that will allow us to take witness statements virtually that are court ready, to capture images of injuries. But I think above all, it offers a flexibility for the victim to interact with us outside the police station. Not everyone wants to come to a police station, not everyone has the physical means to come to a police station, and for a variety of reasons, sometimes victims, particularly those that are vulnerable, may not want a marked police car at the end of the drive, or working people or those who carry responsibilities would benefit from a more flexible approach, and we hope that technology will be able to do that for us.
So this is acknowledging that some victims actually positively want to see a police officer,
Yes.
but there are many others who are perfectly content, indeed might prefer, to use technology to provide further evidence, to get an update on what is happening, all in a way that, if I understand correctly, minimises the administrative burden on your 2 sergeants and 14 police constables, working all of that through with an external company that is able to provide the technology in a way that your officers together can provide a significantly improved service to members of the public here on Stoke-on-Trent.
Absolutely. Of course, our decision to use that technology will be based on the circumstances of the incident. If it's an emergency, it requires a police physical presence quickly, then of course that will be what we will do. So on the circumstances of the incident and the needs and views of the victim. So it will be a victim-led service that will offer a range of opportunities for them to be able to interact with us in a much more flexible way than I think we do now.
So this is something, if I understand correctly, that you and colleagues are working on at the moment,
Yes.
with a view to implementing this early in 2025. We're recording this in late October 2024. So over the coming weeks, those final elements will be put in place. The sergeants in particular will be trained in their oversight and handling of that technology. Maybe we can come back and learn more about how it's been bedded in early in 2025 and see just how that is further benefiting the residents of Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, we're delighted to welcome you back to see it in action. We are quite excited about it. We think we can offer a much more responsive, quicker, more flexible service for victims, and the other benefit of it, of course, is it will release capacity in our response function, so allowing our response officers to get to other calls for service that we will attend physically much quicker, and improve our responsiveness to members of the public.
Chief Superintendent Elliott Sharrard Williams, for the time being, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.